Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I feel terrible. Yay! I've been sick for the last few days. I get a burst of energy in the morning and then pretty much by 4 o'clock I'm dead and I'm asleep for like 12 hours. So yeah, I don't know what it is, maybe the vid or something, I don't know. But since traveling to Australia, I've been down for the count, as they say, which is also why I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But anyways, that's why I was so late in uploading the other video and whatnot. I've just been trying to recover. Hopefully we get rid of this before the weekend, because this weekend is FD. I just realized I should be wearing one of my Hawaiian shirts to make me feel better, but this is on the lift. The Crown is on the lift. We need to get this thing shuck-in and street legal. The shuck-in expired. So we did some work. Now, I'm sure some of you saw my reel on Instagram, but we kind of just used this opportunity to make a meme. Obviously the rails on this thing, it's been so low before that they scraped, and I just hit them with a bit of black spray paint. Kind of got this thing all sorted. Also, look at this, stock exhaust back on. Look at that. I also just sprayed the exhaust for the lols because we were just making fun of like how, you know, the grading system works at the auction house. But yeah, stock exhaust is on, and I want you guys to just listen to how quiet this thing is. But for the most part, like, this thing's pretty good under here for being a, you know, a slammed VIP car. This sketches me out. That's literally the fuel tank there that had been scraping on the ground. So I'm glad I raised the car and we didn't keep doing that, because that's scaring me. Over here, it still has the metal plate here, but you can see the metal plate actually got scraped through and was starting to, you know, do what it does. But overall, under the car, it's actually pretty tidy. This stock exhaust, it never came with a stock exhaust, it just came with this full straight pipe kit here. Look at this, straight pipe all the way. Which is also mangled up from it just smashing on the ground. But yeah, we had to just source that off the internet. It was a few $100s. But yeah, we're good. This thing should pass shuck-in now. We've made sure it's like 9 centimeters off the ground. We're gonna lower this thing. We're gonna try and get this thing to pass today. Before we get into the rest of today's video, I've been reading the comments, and a lot of you guys were asking during, you know, the surprise makeover we did for Daiki's car. You guys were asking for some kind of merch of some sort to try and support Daiki and his D1 Lights endeavors. So I thought the best way to do that was to actually continue the Live the Dream brand. And we've done a Live the Dream shirt with Daiki and his car to help support him for the rest of the year and his D1 Lights endeavors. Obviously, it's gonna go to the cost of everything with running his car and transporting it to all the events and all that kind of stuff, which I think is gonna be awesome. You guys obviously support us heavily when we do the FD support packs. This is gonna be a pre-order as well. This shirt will only be available to order for the next 2 weeks. Link is down in the description. Make sure you grab it. 2 S15s drifting on it, Daiki in mine. Live the dream, passing it on to him. And yeah, thank you so much for your support, guys. Daiki's also really excited. He just doesn't really know what to do because it's the first time he's ever done this. But trust me, he's very thankful and very, very humbled by everything that you guys have said about him.
Thank you, everyone.
Once again, this is going to be a pre-order, so the shirt is only going to be able to order for the next 2 weeks. Once that closes, we then start production, and it normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks before your order is shipped. Thank you so much to each and every one of you that want to support Daiki and everything that he's doing here in Japan in the D1 Lights division. And let's get back to today's video. And then if we're super lucky, we're also going to get the Z done. As you can see, this thing is shuck-in legal once again. We had to completely sand down the headlights, repolish them, and clear coat them. Also the tail lights and the reverse lights had to all get done. I've said this before, but I never asked for any of the lights to be night shaded, and there was some kind of miscommunication or something, I don't know. But yeah, we obviously had to redo all of that just so we can make this car street legal. So yeah, this thing, if we got time today, will also go and get shuck-in done. But the problem is, because the Z is registered in my name and where we live is over the Yokohama border, but where the Crown is registered is under the company name and the company is over the Tokyo border, we have to go to 2 completely separate shuck-in places for these cars. So yeah, welcome to, I guess, an inside look into what it's like being a car enthusiast in Japan and getting your car to pass shuck-in and all that kind of stuff. Luckily, it's only every 2 years, but yeah, it's a little bit of an ordeal depending on what kind of car you have. Obviously, just a completely stock normal car is easy, but when it comes to, you know, modified cars with loud exhausts or big turbo kits or transmission changes and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot more involved, including like engine swaps. You can't just swap an engine and it'll be okay. There's a lot of stuff you have to do, like engineering certificates and all that type of stuff. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. My head feels like it's full of cotton wool. Yes, let's go do shotgun stuff. It's gonna be great. We got this thing off the lift. Let's fire up. I'm gonna miss the machine gun. Oh, hang on. Key's gotta be closer to it. It's so quiet. I guess it kind of still has a hint of what it used to sound like. Anyways, we also have all the codes cleared. No engine light. The only thing is flashing, no seatbelt right now, and AFS, which is the automatic, automatic lights thing. So like when you turn and stuff, but that's because we have the switch turned off. Good truck. Off to the shotgun place. We've been driving now for about an hour. We're only a few minutes away from the Tokyo shotgun place. We're like deep right now. But yeah, the aircon's on the fritz again in the truck, which sucks in the middle of summer. Also, I don't know why, but this window doesn't go up or down anymore and it's stuck, so we just taped it up. She has done a fair few miles. How many miles now? 783,000 kilometers. She's a trooper. Turbo diesel for life. We made it to the shotgun inspection place. I'm not overly excited about this, just because there's always a chance that something's not gonna go right and they're gonna tell you to go home and fix something. But kind of confident, I think. But also, you never know. This is cool though. Love this. It's nice blue. Very cool. 326 power wing too. Genuine. Very nice 15. Step 1 complete, Daiki. We got all the paperwork done. These little offices are like always around the shotgun place. Just pay for them, like their fee, to pretty much get all the paperwork in order, so you don't have to do a ton of running around and waste your time. Just makes life so much easier. So now all our paperwork's in order. We've paid Jubaiseki, which is kind of like third-party insurance in case you hit someone on the road. It was a bit hefty for the Crown. It's pretty expensive, but it covers you for like the 2.5 years for the next shotgun period, if that makes sense. Anyways, now we get to go into one of these offices, which we can't film, and finish that to then go through the inspection line. The Crown's back on the truck. This is literally what it's like sometimes. You could follow the book, make sure everything is great, and they'll still find something that makes absolutely no sense, and they knock you back for it. We have to go back to the shop. We're gonna have to either raise the Crown or take the fog lights out of the bumper. Apparently, there's a rule where if your car is lowered, and mind you, everything is good, we're 11 centimeters off the ground everywhere. If you have a lowered car to a certain point, they won't tell us what point it is, so we're probably just gonna take the fog lights out. The fog lights become illegal and you're not allowed to even have them. Even if they're disconnected or switched off, doesn't matter, they have to be completely removed out of the bumper. Just like a rule or a law or whatever I have never heard of. They're so strict it makes no sense. Oh, and then they also said we have to take these caps off every single wheel so that they can count and make sure that there's, 5 lug nuts on there, which is also weird. But anyways, unfortunately, we got here a little late, so we have no time to actually get this done, which means we're gonna have to come back again tomorrow. Just stuff you just don't know. Oh, and because these aren't factory lights, they want us to get a little stick-on reflector and stick it on the bumper just for shotgun, and then afterwards take it off. Like, that makes no sense. But anyways, that's welcome to living in Japan and trying to get a car shotgun. So we just wasted pretty much half of our entire day. All good. And a very pissed off Daiki. He's not happy. Mendokusai means pain in the ass. All right, well, let's go back to the shop, finish this, and come back and do it all again tomorrow. So we are now back at the shop, and it is all hands on deck. Daiki's raising the car. He's actually already done the rear. If you can see, there's a nice little bit of gap there. And we've got Riley removing the VIP table. We learnt today that these are actually not shotgun legal, so that's got to be taken out for shotgun.
I think it covers the airbag
something like
You know what? Now that you think about it, yeah, that's probably really dangerous. Yeah, airbag will probably just send the table into your face. But I got the reflectors and the little light bulbs for the front that needed to go in. So these are going on the back. And then we did a bunch of research on the fog light situation. We should be able, depending on how much the car comes up from raising the coilovers, if these are at 25 centimeters, we're okay. If not, then we got to take them out of the bumper entirely. So that kind of sucks. Oh, also, we polished the front headlights a little bit so they look a little clearer. So apparently that can be an issue too. So we sorted that out. They're nice and clean now. And then this thing should pass shuck-in. It should. Anyways, we won't know until we get there. But yeah, I'm gonna put these reflectors on the back. So weird. And we should be good. Welcome to Sam's YouTube channel where we install reflectors on a car so that we can pass shuck-in. Done. Just like that. I hope that comes off later. But now, the rear of the car is shuck-in legal for inspection. Those are coming straight off the moment we're done. This is like a huge... This is so frustrating. Like, we spent 2 hours just traveling there and back today, and like an hour and a half there, 2 hours there maybe, of just them pretending like the car was fine and us going through the line and all the money we had to pay for all the paperwork and stuff. Like, we spent like $700 in all of that, and then all the time backwards and forwards, and then we still have to go and spend 2 hours again tomorrow going there and back to get this thing to pass. And then even then, we still don't know if it's gonna pass like the emissions check, we don't know if it's gonna pass the headlight check, we don't know if it's gonna pass something else under the car. There's a good chance that this could still come back. We don't know. It's so frustrating. It's like, can we not just go through and check everything so that we know if anything else fails, so that then we can just come back and do everything in one hit? No, it doesn't work like that. It's so annoying. And just think, if it's this frustrating with one car, how many cars do I have? Yeah. So I guess this would be the perfect time to kind of be like, this would be one of the cons of moving to Japan, just dealing with this whole situation. But if you just got a normal car, it's not an issue. If you're into motorsports and modifying your car, if you're a car enthusiast, then it's kind of a bit of a pain. Also, if you have a lot of money, you can just go to a shop, pay them money every 2 years to do this all for you. Because we're doing it ourselves, it's obviously a lot more time consuming. So yeah, anyways, there's that. Just in case it's not enough, the coilovers being raised as much as they are, I'm just gonna add an extra bar of air into our tires because that'll also make the car raise about an extra centimeter. Trying everything right now. Everything to pass. I think we're good now. Look at the stance of this thing. I don't think, like, this is the highest this car's ever been. For a very long time, I would say. We need to do something with the fog lights though. Daiki, どうする? Fog lamp の20、25センチでしょ?
25かな。ギリギリ、まあ大丈夫。ギリギリじゃない?
25 is here. We need to raise the car by another 2 centimeters, apparently, if we want this to pass the fog lights.
Yeah.
25, right?
25.
I don't understand why a fog light has to be 25 centimeters off the ground. Does anyone else know? What is this rule? This is the first time I've ever heard of it. Does this even exist in any other countries? I don't understand how a fog light being closer to the ground and like, oh no, what's it gonna do? Reflect off the ground or make it less of a functioning fog light? I don't understand how that's illegal, but whatever. I don't make the rules. While Daiki's raising the front of the Crown right now, I think it's a good time to give you guys an update on all the cars in the shop because I'm sure you can tell. The shop is full right now. It is too full. And we're just gonna quickly go around and I'm gonna give you a quick update on everything. The parts stagia. This thing, it's pretty much just here storing. At the time, they just needed a bit of time before we drop it off, but this will probably go back to Meiku in the next 2 weeks. We've taken everything that we need out of the car. All we gotta do is put some of the parts back in it that we don't need that, you know, we'll give back to them. And they'll take this car and they're gonna use the drivetrain out of it and make a 4-door R34 GTR, which I think is sick. The shell will probably end up being used for someone to save another Stagia shell or something like that, or to do a shell swap or anything like that, I don't know. But this car is going to be leaving in a couple weeks, which will clear up a lot of space. They're behemoth of a car. The Z is pretty straightforward. It's getting shuck in tomorrow after the Crown comes back. Everything's pretty much dialed on this car and it's great. It's a simple seat time kind of car, as well as the car that May wants to drive around and have a bit of fun in, go to events and drive home, that kind of car. Just something that people can learn in. Also just a great car to give to some of my friends when they're visiting Japan if they want to drive some events or anything like that at local tracks. It's going to be perfect and just like a good all-round seat time street car. And then we got the Bogan 32. This is one of my all-time favorite cars right now just because of how fun it was. But we do have a few little changes that will be happening on this in the next month or so. We're going to be changing the hot side to a much smaller, more responsive turbo. That will really help this thing because it has absolutely no low end and no mid range at all. It is super laggy with this big TO4Z. We kind of knew that was going to happen, but it was still fun. And I mean, at the end of the day, this thing proved to me that it was actually kind of a good idea. So this thing's gonna end up living at Ebisu Circuit as a backup missile / fun drift car. And also this will become another car that will let other people drive and stuff like that as well. But hot side, need to change to something like a G25 and we'll get this thing retuned all over again at the dyno and get this thing super dialed in and hopefully it lasts for a long time. If it doesn't, the engine's only $50, but worst case scenario, we just put in a 25 that I've got spare over there. But yeah, for the most part, this thing's done and it's gonna end up living at Ebisu Circuit very soon. So this will be out of the shop too and just be kind of like a fun car that, we surprise everyone with every now and then at Ebisu. And then there's kind of the OG Yashio Factory S15. Now, we are waiting for a rehousing to come from Garrett to replace the one that we gave to Daiki for his turbo. But I'm also sitting on the fence of this. There's a lot of things about this build that I actually want to change now looking back, and I don't know what to do. Should I go through and change everything now, or should we just put it all back together when the rear housing comes back, drop it off at Yashio Factory, get the aero kit installed and the paint job done, and be good, drive it on the street for a bit, enjoy it, and then make some changes, or what? I don't know what to do, and it's killing me, driving me insane. So can you guys help me decide that one? I'll be watching in the comments, and I think you're all gonna say the same thing that I think I'm thinking right now, which is just get the rear housing, slap it back on, get it done, enjoy it for a little bit, and then make changes. I think that's what we're gonna do, but let me know what you think. And then there's the abandoned S15, which, yeah, my little rust bucket here. This thing probably has about, I would say a solid 1 to 2 weeks of work that needs to be done in this front end. We got to change all those panels and that kind of stuff. And this car I've been like using as the car that I learn a ton of stuff on about replacing panels and all that kind of stuff. Welding as well. I learned to weld on this car. So it's been really, really fun. But it's obviously takes a lot out of me, and having massive ADHD means that I need a break from certain projects at a time, which is also why it's kind of good I have so many project cars, but also bad. So this kind of went into the corner just because I was like, we're done with the rear. The rear is perfect, restored, good to go. The front end is a lot more involved, a lot more welding, a lot of stuff that I'm not familiar with. So my main thought process on this is I just want to smash it all out in like a week or two, and we'll make a couple videos about it. It'll be full in-depth, crazy, cutting out panels and stuff. I'm also thinking about actually bringing someone to help me do this that is an expert at this, which would be really, really cool and helpful, and we'll be able to do this together, which I think will be good for me to learn, but also for you guys to learn about how to fix this kind of stuff, because let's be honest, a lot of you guys are going to be buying S15s and R34s, and they all have this problem. Even if it doesn't have any rust on the top of the struts, it's going to look like this on the inside 100%. And if you love these cars and you want to keep them, around forever or for a little bit of time, you're going to need to do this same thing that we're doing. Just like Jimmy and his 34 and that whole disaster, like it's the same situation. Everyone's going to be dealing with that, and you guys are going to want to learn how to fix all this. So yeah, I think that's going to be very cool. So yeah, this should also be done by the end of this year, hopefully. And then there's the 33.4. This thing is probably got about a week's worth of work left in it. I got to do fuel lines and change the fuel pump and the fuel hat and the fuel tank. That's pretty much it fuel wise. Everything else is kind of wiring, which is a factory loom that just needs to plug into everything. And I need to also do some sensor kind of loom stuff. So I'm running a bunch of sensors for certain things back to the ECU. That should be pretty straightforward. So about a week's worth of work, and obviously fab work too, which is a couple days of work, intercooler piping, downpipe and all that stuff, and then we're good. So there's not much left on this. Probably 2 to 3 videos before this thing will be, you know, back running on the street. Well, when I say on the street, is once this is done, dyno tuned and everything, this thing also needs shuck-in. So it's gonna be a little bit involved, but there's about a week's worth of work on this, maybe 2. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's everything. My goal is to try and have all these cars in this shop sorted out by the end of this year, so that then first thing in the new year, we bring in the abandoned 32 and we jump into that and get that thing done in the first month of the year, get that thing finished, get that thing built, get an RB in there, get it running, get it registered on the street, on the road, shuck in all that stuff. And then we're then good for the rest of the year. We can buy some new project cars, that kind of thing. Maybe I can finally get an R34 Skyline back. I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? I know I got a lot of cars in here right now, but yeah, I'm just trying to sort through everything. I definitely bought too many project cars over the last couple of years and thought things would be easier. They weren't. But here we are. I'm sorry if that was a lot of talking. I didn't realize it was going to take so long to go through all the cars in here, and we still have cars out the front and that kind of stuff. But I think that kind of covers everything that we need. The Crown is all loaded up and it's gonna pass shuck-in tomorrow, but before we can do that, I need to get another one of these fog light bulbs. One of them wasn't working, so we're at Don Quixote. We're in luck, they've got exactly what we need here. Now the Crown should pass shuck-in, but at the same time, I won't be surprised if they knock it back for something else, because they still didn't let us test everything else on the car today to make sure. But it should be okay, we should be fine. I hope so. I'm back home now and it's time to wrap up the video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, which is pretty much me just the entire time complaining and ranting about the whole situation with shuck-in on the Crown. But I'm quite confident we should be good tomorrow. The only thing I can think of why we wouldn't pass is if something's wrong with it that they didn't check for us. But that's all kind of part of the process of, you know, fixing the things that they say it didn't pass for first, going back and getting to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. But it is what it is. And I hope we pass tomorrow. I hope there's no more issues and then we can get onto the Z. I'm sure the Z is going to be a whole thing too. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I still feel terrible. I sound terrible and like I'm crashing really hard right now and I'm fighting everything in me to not cough. But thank you so much, guys. I'm going to go get some rest. Smash the like button, write a comment, and subscribe. Go to SAMMIT.net and grab yourself the new Live the Dream shirt to help support Daiki and his D1 Lights division stuff here in Japan. Damn it, I couldn't do the whole thing without coughing once. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.